Hello and welcome to This Week in Baseball for the week of April 11th, 2024. My name is Gautam and I am flying solo today. Mason is on the IL. He is not seeing Dr. Keith Meister. I can confirm his UCL is perfectly intact, but he's not going to be joining us today, but he'll be back next time. And on that episode, we're going to be doing a full deep dive on the absolute epidemic of pitcher injuries, elbow injuries that has been the hot topic around baseball this week, as some very high profile pitchers have been injured. But I thought I'd catch everyone up on the happenings around the league that are not related to the pitcher injuries here. The offense of the week, the Chicago Cubs. Cubs are off to a 7-4 start, and a lot of that is because of the offense. The Cubs' offense was very, very good last year, and they've kind of picked up exactly where they left off at the end of the year. The way they've done that is by being incredibly patient. This is a grinded out offense. Today, on Wednesday, they are second in the league with a 12.4% walk rate, only behind the Yankees. They're seventh in WRC plus in the league. And I don't think the Cubs are really thought about in the same context as some of the other elite offenses around the league, like the Yankees, like the Braves, the Astros, the Dodgers. They're not really in that echelon, and I can agree to that, but I think they're the next best thing. And I think just the way they've been able to put together runs here in the early going is a very promising sign for them. Keeping that up, I mean, look at the run score that they put up after game 2 of this season. 5-5, 12, 9-9-1, 8-8-5. Those are some crooked numbers. And it's not like they've been doing it in Coors Field or anything. Like, they literally have been playing in cold Chicago for the majority of those games, and doing it against, they did do it against the Rockies. So not their best pitching, but it was raining almost every day. And then they continued it against very tough pitchers for the Dodgers, and they won 2 out of 3 in that series. So Cubs' combination of patience and then a little bit of slug and just grinded out attitude has been able to get into some bullpens and really pile it on and have a good start to the year. The Red Sox, on the other hand, are a team that has also got off to a very nice start, and theirs has been kind of boosted up in a different way, and that's by their pitching, which has been probably one of the biggest surprises of the early going so far. They have a 1.72 ERA and lead the major leagues in WAR. If you had guessed that at the beginning of the season, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that, you did a great job, because this Red Sox rotation was already hampered by injury. Lucas Giolito, their big free agent signing for the rotation, was out of the season before he had even thrown a pitch in Red Sox uniform. So they kind of had to fill in with unproven or almost bullpen guys. And all those guys have stepped up and been awesome to start the year. So Cutter Crawford, Garrett Whitlock, Tanner Houck, 3 guys in the rotation now have ERAs under 1.00. Houck has 17 strikeouts in 12 innings pitched, has not given up a run. Garrett Whitlock, 0.96 ERA over 9 1/3 innings with 12 strikeouts. Cutter Crawford, pitching tonight, he's lowered his ERA from 0.84 in another great start. I mean, it's kind of remarkable the changes some of these guys have made. A guy like Houck, who really came in motivated, wanted to remain a starter. We know that he's had a lot of success being a reliever, and he can probably do that totally fine. But it made sense to give him another shot because of just the talent that he is. And he's had trouble getting out lefties in the past. He's had trouble maintaining his stuff in starts, and that has not been the case in the early going so far. I do worry about the depth of this rotation. Nick Pivetta is now injured. They kind of are down some guys. But if those 3 guys plus Brian Bayo continue what they've been doing, then you're talking about a team that can compete in this division, because the offense we already knew is is really good and is probably going to carry this team at times. Kind of sticking on that topic of starters turn relievers, which I find to be very fascinating. I'm always kind of taking a look at which really awesome relievers do teams want to give another shot as a starter. So there's three guys that I've identified here outside of like a guy like Tanner Houck. Those guys are AJ Puck, Jordan Hicks, and Reynaldo Lopez. So I'll start with Lopez. He's a guy that's been a starter in the past. He's had 200 inning plus seasons, but he's been a reliever for the last several years and a very good one. Awesome arm, throws 100 miles per hour in the bullpen. The Braves said, okay, you can compete for the fifth starter role on our team, and we don't really necessarily need you to start all year for us, but we'll give you this chance. And worst case, you can fall back to being a reliever and things will be fine for us. Reynaldo Lopez wins that fifth starter role out of spring, beats out Bryce Elder. And first couple starts this year, he's thrown 12 innings, struck out 11, 0.75 ERA. So things are going well, and it seems like he's going to have a little bit of a runway now with Spencer Strider out for the time being. So far so good for Reynaldo Lopez in the starter's role. Jordan Hicks. This one has shocked me, and I think if Mason were here, he would agree. We both did not have a lot of faith in Jordan Hicks as a starter because of his very, very inconsistent command and control that he's had throughout his career. So Jordan Hicks, when he's on his game, as dominant as any pitcher in the league, he gets ground balls, he gets weak contact, he throws harder than 99% of pitchers in the league. And to start his career with the Giants, who gave him a 4-year commitment to be a starter, he's gone out and made Farhan look pretty good. 18 innings, 1.00 ERA over 3 starts. Only 13 strikeouts, but high ground ball rate and actually pitching deep into games. 6 innings, 7 inning starts. Just taking a look here. He has pitched 5 innings, 7 innings, and 6 innings in his 3 starts. So it's good to see him going deep into games, and I'm amazed. I don't know if this is going to keep up necessarily. Maybe he's just having a period of having good command, but so far, so good. Last guy, starter turn reliever, AJ Puck. AJ Puck was kind of the darling of spring training this year. Won a job out of spring in the Marlins rotation. He was great in spring training. And then things totally flipped once we got into primetime, into regular season games. And AJ Puck has looked awful in his 3 starts now. 10 2/3 innings. He's walked, looks like 24% of batters he's walked, and he struck out only 13%. So AJ Puck was dominant last year in the back end of their bullpen. They decided, okay, let's actually give him a shot. He seems healthy. He seems ready to take this next step and be a major league starter. And so far, he has not stepped up and carried over the success that he showed last year. It's definitely too early to say AJ Puck's never going to work out as a starter, but this early returns are not good. Ceddanne Rafaela agreed to an 8-year extension for $50 million with the Red Sox. So the Red Sox extend another player as they did with Brian Bayo. So they're kind of investing in youth in their team. And that's a great thing to see because we've seen the Red Sox over the past few years not necessarily spend so much at the top end of free agent markets, but it's good to see, hey, they're building a core here. Rafaela seems like a very good candidate for this because he is an otherworldly defender. Some say that he could be the best defensive outfielder in Major League Baseball. So that's a great starting point. That's already probably reason enough to extend him. But when you add in kind of his potential as an offensive player, extremely fast, got power, and he can play around the diamond too. He came up as a shortstop, a second baseman. Now he's kind of shifted to center field, but that positional flexibility will help him in maybe the very, very near future as Trevor Story is probably going to be out for the year. So they've got a gaping hole at shortstop right now. And Rafaela could step in there and help the Red Sox out a lot. So I like this move for the Red Sox, and we'll see if they continue down this path of kind of rewarding their young players and maybe appeasing their fan base a little bit while they're at it. Jackson Holliday has been promoted to the Orioles after he did not make the team out of spring training. He only played less than 30 games total at AAA in his life, but the 20-year-old number 1 prospect in baseball is finally an Oriole, and I just wanted to give you some numbers here on the Norfolk Tides, the AAA team for Baltimore, who were ridiculous to start the year. They scored 24 runs in their first two games of the season. They had a game where they scored 26 runs, and the lineup is just stacked up and down because the Orioles have just accumulated so many top tier prospects. This is a legitimate case where they don't know what to do with these guys. Like, there's nowhere for them to play in Baltimore on an everyday basis. So they're kind of stuck in the minors. I think Holliday had a clearest path of all the minor leaguers because second and third base are sort of the weak spots in their lineup, but he seems ready. Seems like he's gained some muscle. Seems like he's hitting for power. He's got a couple homers in AAA this year. Looks like he's going to slide in at second base with Gunnar Henderson as his double play partner. Looking very, very good. And just the other guys in AAA at Norfolk, talking about Heston Kjerstad, Kyle Stowers, Kobe Mayo, Peyton Burdick. These guys would be contributors, if not starters, on probably 20 to 25 teams in the league today, yet they don't have that opportunity with Orioles. And I think there's still opportunity to make a move, fill another need, like maybe another pitcher or something. Or they can just hoard up on these guys and be ready to fill in if other players underperform, other players get injured. I mean, truly, the veteran players are kind of on the hot seat because of all this young talent that's kind of waiting to take their job. Guys like Anthony Santander and Austin Hayes, they seem like they're safe, but if they struggle, I wouldn't be so sure that they're like guaranteed months and months of runway. So that's just something to keep an eye on. Finally, we're going to do some quick hitters here. Mike Trout is back. 6 home runs. He leads the major leagues, tied with Tyler O'Neill. And I'm just so happy because when Mike Trout was healthy, if I was just scrolling around on my phone or just at my computer and I saw that Trout was coming up, I would immediately flip the game on. His at-bats were must watch. And last night, I saw Trout was coming up and I put the game on and I watched him hit the home run. And then I just shut off the Angels game because there's really nothing else to watch there. I'm going to be doing that as long as I can. I don't want to miss Mike Trout at bats. I don't want to miss Shohei at bats. He looks healthy and I'm going to enjoy it for as long as I can. Tyler Glasnow had probably the best start of the season by any starting pitcher. Yesterday against the Twins, 88 pitches, 14 strikeouts, 1 hit allowed in 7 innings pitched. That is unbelievable, unreal efficiency by Glasnow to be able to go deep into the game and do it on a reduced pitch count and get strikeouts. So that's the Glasnow that the Dodgers were looking for when they made the trade and when they offered him an extension. He's a guy that they just have to somehow manage him over the course of the season. If that means going 6-man rotation at times, if that means putting him on the IL for something that's not major, if it means skipping starts, whatever it is, they want this guy pitching at his best late in the season. And he's a top 10 guy. Blake Snell made his first start as a Giant. It did not go particularly well. He gave up 3 runs in 3 innings, but I think he actually looked pretty good. It looked like he was commanding his pitches pretty well. Slider looked good. I wouldn't be too worried about, one short start in his first game back after basically not really having a proper spring training. He's got another start at the end of the week, and I think this is the starting pitcher that the Giants have been looking for, and they're going to be very happy to have him in black and orange. And then a good health note that I can provide an update on Lars Nootbaar being very close to activation for the Cardinals. They've been missing him in their outfield. And then Sonny Gray, a returning pitcher from injury who missed a few weeks due to a hamstring injury, comes back and throws 5 shutout innings against the Cardinals. And that's just the Sonny Gray that we've kind of come to expect. Like, he's not necessarily a guy that's going to go pitch like super deep into games. Sometimes he'll have shorter starts. This one, he was pitch count limited, but we kind of expect good performance when he pitches, and good to see him doing his thing, even in his first game back, even against a tough offense like the Phillies. So that's This Week in Baseball. We'll be back with you soon, and thank you for listening. If you enjoy the podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcasting app and YouTube to make sure you don't miss any future episodes. Join the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Getaway Day Pod. If you enjoy card collecting, check out our sister YouTube channel at Getaway Day Cards.